I'm sure you share my scepticism when it comes to which players are coming in next. Who's going to be Declan Rice's replacement is really the big story. It's hard, isn't it, really, when we don't know who the manager's going to be. We're not even sure of the composition of the structure of the club, whether Rob Newman's going to be here, whether the new director of football comes in, all that stuff. That's stuff for a different video anyway. But it makes it hard to really sort of get excited about any links to any new players coming in. And I like getting excited about new players coming in. Obviously, I prefer the football itself, but I don't mind. I don't mind like the downtime, the end of the season, the post-season. You know what? It gives you a little bit of chance to charge your batteries, but you can still get into the football a little bit because you've got the transfer window going up, and I enjoy it. I enjoy being linked with players, even if they're ridiculous. But once in a while, a player will come along, and you think, "Wow, okay, I like this guy. This guy is good. I hope this rumour is true." And the player, well, you'll already know, because you've already seen it on the thumbnail and in the title. This guy here is Yunus Musah. He's been suggested that he might be Declan Rice's replacement, and he plays for Valencia. We'll get into the details. I've gone and checked him out. If you don't know anything about him, I didn't know an awful lot about him. I'd heard of him. I didn't know an awful lot about him since the article came out. Basically, the article came out last night in the Daily Mail. People were chatting about it in the Patreon WhatsApp group. Someone tagged me in it as well. I thought, I'll have a little look. And since I've had a look, I've found out, quite a lot about him, actually, which I'm going to share with you now. And I think what I've got to do is almost park that other stuff, which is... If he's been identified by David Moyes, it might not happen. If he's been identified by Rob Newman, it might not happen. Has he been identified by David Sullivan? All that stuff, is realistic, and they are relevant things to think about. I'm going to park all that stuff for the purposes of this video, because as soon as I saw him, and as soon as I started, basically, as soon as I saw him play, but well, he's good. So I watched some more, and I watched some more, and I watched some more. I think there's funny thing with footage. I think if you're watching sort of grainy footage from, I don't know, a lower division in another country, I think it's quite difficult. I think a lot of it can be manipulated. I think when you're seeing La Liga footage and international footage, then you can probably believe a little bit more of what you see. And as soon as I saw him, I thought, wow, okay, this I was going to say kid. He's 20 years of age. Is really, really good. I think it's fair to say I was actually really, really impressed when we were linked with Amadou Onana. I will discuss him more in time, because I'm going to do a video very soon about what would have happened if David Moyes had got his first choice targets. And when I've already recorded the video, and when I did it, it really sort of got me thinking. But I liked Onana. I thought Onana's a good player, and I'm not sort of going to change my opinion just because he's playing for Everton at the moment, because Everton is such a state as a club. I think anyone and everyone looks bad at Everton pretty much. But I liked him. I thought he was good. I thought it was a good player for us to identify. He was young as well. He'd got into the Belgian team. What wasn't to like, really? I thought he would have suited David Moyes. Thought he would have suited West Ham, and I thought he would have done okay in the Premier League. This guy looks better, I have to say. This guy is brilliant. He seems to have it all. He's fast. He's strong. He's got an eye for a pass, a really good eye for a pass. He's got quite a lot of variation in his passes as well. He shields the ball well. He dribbles really well, and he tackles and intercepts well. There's not many players who I've looked, and when somebody has suggested this is Declan Rice's replacement, and I've thought, yeah, okay, this guy could do it. Not suggesting he's as good as Declan Rice, but he's 20 years of age. He's got a ton of potential, and I would really like to see us go for this if the rumours are true, that we do have an interest and that we've bid for him. I think if we were going to go and buy this player, then the way I would see it would be Paqueta, this guy playing box to box, and then a holding player. That's how I would see this going. I don't even know what the prices are. I don't even know what the suggested prices are for this. It was all a little bit vague, and I've read so many reports in the past 24 hours about it. It's hard to even sort of pin anything on him. But Valencia are struggling this season, it's fair to say, but he's been one of the shining lights in it. He would bring much needed pace to the team. I still think we need some more pace out wide, and I still think any striker that we bring in has got to be quick. I don't think it's worked with Ings, and I don't think the system works with Skamaka, as you know, as I've said many times. But one thing we do lack is outright pace in the centre of the park. This guy brings it, and he's really good. Now, his story is really, really interesting. Really interesting. He could have played for, and I've got to get this right, he could have played for England, USA, where he was born. He was born in New York. He could have played for Ghana, and he could have played for Italy. I mean, that's quite something. Now, he actually represented England from under 15s to under 18s. Because he lived in England for such a large part of his life, he was actually in Arsenal's academy from the age of 9 to 16. Out of that, he moved from Arsenal's academy, signed for Valencia, and he made his first team debut at 17. He's not a bit part player. He's played 35 times this season. And he's well, you probably know this, if you know, he's represented the US national team. Really good player, very highly regarded, very highly sought after. And as soon as I saw him, I thought, yeah, okay, this guy's really good. I think one of the things you often wonder about when you're looking at players is, are they going to settle? Would he be able to settle in the Premier League? Well, of course he could. He was here. He lived here from the age of 9 to 16. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, he was born in New York, and then I think the family moved to Italy. If I got this right, I think the family moved to Italy for 4 years. Then they were over here for 7 years in the UK, and now obviously, you know, he's moved to Spain. That much I don't know where the rest of the family moved over to Spain. I just don't know. I don't know how it's worked, but clearly there's not going to be a problem with him settling. He's a USA international. He's lived in England. You're not going to have somebody coming over and having to struggle to adapt to the language or the culture. You know, he's born in America. Most of his childhood was spent in the UK. This is just, I think, it just chalks one of the concerns of there at all as well. I think this is why it's really important, I believe, that West Ham get European football for a third consecutive season. That's important. That's an important boast, isn't it? Once, you know, anyone can sort of, not anyone, actually, I was just about to say anyone can fluke Europe once. I don't think you can't fluke Europe. But, you know, teams can get in once and then disappear. I think if you're going to say we're in Europe for the third season in a row, it's an opportunity for these players to stand up and take notice. And let's be fair, West Ham should be in the running for a player like this, because the big hitters, the real big hitters, are going to be going for Jude Bellingham. They're going to be going for Declan Rice. They're going for Casiado. It's that sort of next run down that clubs like us have got to be going for. And I think, you know, this guy, he fits the bill. Absolutely. And that's why it's important you get them at this point. Because as Casiado has showed, look, we had a chance to get Casiado from Independiente. We chose not to. He goes to Brighton, and you don't get him. There's some players you said you get one chance. You get one chance to get them. And I think this is it. With this kid, Musah, you get one chance to get him. Now, the price is important, because we've been very vague on the price on this, because we just don't know. But the Daily Mail's got good contacts at board level, West Ham board level. And if we've gone for him, then that's got to be a good thing. As I say, the one thing that you just think, okay, well, what's the composition and the makeup of the club going to be? Is it Rob Newman? Is he going to be off? Is it David Moyes? Is he going to be here next season? Is it a player that's been recommended by an agent to David Sullivan? I think in this instance, sometimes they work. You know, most of the time, no, I'd rather it didn't happen. And I think it's good. I'll be discussing, in a couple of days, I'll discuss the director of football in more detail, because I've got a lot of concerns about it. But just at this early stage, I don't really care how this player's been recommended. He seems to be a good one. I think the thing for me is it does show you that there are players out there. You know, Declan Rice is a fantastic player. But if we can sell Declan Rice and get, with the money, get a couple of players, I don't want to spread it too thin and get, you know, spend 20 million here. You know, go out there and spend whatever. You get 100 million for Declan Rice, go out there and buy two £50 million players and get the right ones. You've seen the quality you get when you pay that sort of money. You've seen it with Lucas Paqueta. You know, you just go out there and do it. But anyway, as far as I can see, Yunus Musah, 20 years of age, USA international, at Valencia, doing the rounds in the press at the moment as Declan Rice's replacement. From what I've seen, I like him. Decide for yourself. Go and check him out.